You can even paste a video or a lecture and then it creates flashcards for you. There are flashcards like that. I think Quizlet has that AI capability now where you could upload notes or lectures, be it video, as long as it's public, I believe so. And then it creates a digital flashcard. We also
Hmm.
do gamification on physical flash as far as matching games, like for drugs, we shuffle them, open the one flashcard, match it with the other set of flashcards, what they do, either their uses or brand and generic, or their side effects. So that's another way to do it. A more fun way with the use of flashcards to on top of colors. So gamification.
What is tip number
Tip
five
number
here?
5 is acronyms. It's tied to our mnemonics, but acronyms is really ABCD, which I mentioned earlier. The ABCDs of hypertension, like I said, would be your either ACE inhibitors, angiotensin 2 receptor blockers, or you can add your alpha blockers in there too. B would be your beta blockers. C would be your calcium channel blockers, and D your diuretics. Just the same as King Henry died drinking chocolate milk. My students added at McDonald's. If you're trying to remember the prefixes for your metric system, kilo, hecto, deca, deci, centi, milli, micro, and those are mnemonics. Roman numerals. My students have mnemonics for Roman numerals too, and they share it. I value xylophone like cats do music. So that's your I, V, X, L, C, C, D, M. And those came from them. And I always share that whenever we learn something. I always tell them, you just don't learn from me. I learned from you. That's your acronym. Whatever you can put together. But remember, funny sticks in the head, unconventional sticks in the head, crazy sticks in the head. So if you try to make it funny and conventional, or even a different language, I hear my Spanish speakers when they review drugs, they use Spanish and sometimes they're curse words, but don't say it out loud. So it's just them, it's their group, they're talking about it, and anything that's like that is going to be funny and it sticks in the head. So, most,
Anything that works,
yes,
basically. Like that's kind
really
of it doesn't.
works.
If it's a curse word, fine, as long as you maybe don't say it out
Yeah,
loud when
they're
you're
groups, so
testing
they
them.
have their own groups. As long as you're quiet, you're teaching each other, which is one of my tips later.
Yeah, very cool. What is your next tip then?
Tip number 6,
We're going down the list.
storytelling. Storytelling. So be it, it's tied to your visualization, but this time it's stories. Just like that boy who ate so much macaroni and cheese, you created that story to remember macrolides, throwing up, thromycin, side effect, throwing up. And so that's storytelling, and maybe your own stories. When I teach pharmacology, like I said, I don't like to use PowerPoints as much as possible. I talk about previous patients, side effects, or my mom's story when she was picking up prescriptions, what we tell patients who are taking grapefruit. And again, funny sticks in the head. I don't think I can tell the story that I love telling that my students want me to share all the time, but it's censored. So I'm not going to share that story. Stick in the head, if you have, especially if you have family members or there's something that happened to you, or you put together some words that are funny, silly, whatever language it is, as long as there's recall, you tell that story to yourself.
It's not only that, it's that stories are like a lot more memorable than even like an acronym, right? Like I feel Santa dying from drinking chocolate milk is just gonna be something I'll think about in a couple of
King
weeks.
Henry died drinking
Not
chocolate
even
milk,
trying to
right?
study for this.
Yeah, and then my student added at McDonald's. I said, "Where did that McDonald's come from?" The MC, MCG. Oh, King Henry died drinking chocolate milk at McDonald's.
Yeah, that's great.
It,
Well,
you want me to go tip number 7? Would be audio and repetition. I think I mentioned this in the earlier episode. I always tell my students when you're studying drugs, the different medium. So if I have different medium of instruction, they should also have different medium of learning, right? So for me, I have audio lectures, no fancy recording, just my phone, and they can listen to it. One student who said he was listening to my pharmacology storytelling before bed so he can remember the drugs. When he woke up, he said, I thought you were in my room. Okay. But you don't have to have somebody record it. I want to emphasize this. I did have some students who not only did they listen to my audio lectures like a podcast going to work or going to school, 30-minute drive, 40-minute drive, they also recorded their own audio. So you can still buy those old recorders, which we did back in pharmacy school, the little recorder. She used that while she's studying the drug. She's recording herself, brand, generic, in class. Then she transfers that to her phone, listens to it to her hour drive. It doesn't have to be somebody
Hmm.
else's audio. It can be your own audio. Now you don't have to have that middleman or in between tools. You can just do audio recording on your phone straight. And there was an app, I don't know if it still exists, but this was an information from my student called Songify. She said she's going to read all these drugs, brand, generic in class. It turns it into whatever song genre you like. So my student, she liked rap. So the
Oh,
drugs were
that's so
converted
funny.
into, I have to look into that if it still exists. It's called Songify. So she said, I love rap and R&B. It converts my 10 drugs. I test them 10 drugs a week. It converts my drugs into a rap song. I said, oh my God, I want to hear it. And it was so cool. So you can make it probably classical or whatever genre. But she said, you choose the genre. Audio. Why audio? Repetition. Repetition is key. You don't have to see a person explain what the drug does, but you have to listen. You have to listen to how it's pronounced. Are you hearing another prefix, suffix like stone, olol, sartan, prill? If you record that, you're going to be familiar with this common denominators or common suffixes. So audio and repetition
Mhm.
works a lot with recall, especially with drugs. Not for math. Math has to be
Yeah.
seen, right?
Yeah, I think also it's important to have basically multiple ways of studying, and it's one of the things that we do with our finance courses. I think we're going to add it to the PTC and medical courses soon, is that audio component. But you can also do it yourself. So something that you can do now, thanks to AI, is you can go to 11 Labs or something else if you want, but that's the one I recommend. You can put all your notes in there. First, you can go to ChatGPT. You could say, take all my notes, write a script that will help me memorize all this as an audio format or something like that. Like mess around with it. Then you can go to 11 Labs and have it be put in an audio voice. You could probably pick one, or you could literally like use your own voice and they'll clone it. So there's just a lot of little things you can do now that just like you can, it's really easy to transfer information from one form to another when that used to not be the case. And so for your audio practice, I would highly recommend doing.
Yes, I agree. Number 8, it's tied to our previous topics, interactive quizzes, which is we mentioned gamification, we mentioned digital flashcards. Those digital flashcards can be transformed, or there's a feature where you could make it into a quiz, a matching game, or I'm trying to think of Quizlet because Quizlet has those, but I'm sure there's others. You can do Kahoot as well, interactive quizzes. If you're with a group, studying with a group, Kahoot would work too. Individual, Quizlet, or I'm sure there's so many. You can create your own quizzes or you can find quizzes that are available to you. I love using Canva as well because the graphics are just nicer on Canva. You can create your own flashcards and make it into a quiz on Canva with an AI component as well. Interactive quizzes doesn't have to be digital only. Like I said in my earlier example, we flip flashcards, physical flashcards, one set for generic name, one set for brand name. You match them. One set for generic name, and then one set for the use. I made word searches. using AI for drug words.